What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball in collaboration with Indiana Fever Unfiltered. You know who I am. You know what I do. We are reviewing the post-game press conference from yesterday's game. I didn't get a chance to do it yesterday, but I wanted to take the time to take a look at what was said. And I see that you have Shatori Walker-Kimbrough, Stephanie White, and Raven Johnson in post-game availability after the Liberty game. Interesting selection of players. I understand one. I don't understand the other. But let's jump in on this video. But before we do, hit the intro. Welcome back once again to Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball in collab with Indiana Fever Unfiltered. Please like and subscribe, comment, hype the video. Subscribe right now to Indiana Fever Unfiltered. By the way, if you haven't seen it yet, tonight I did unveil a t-shirt design for Indiana Fever Unfiltered before we jump into the video. So do take a look right here if you are interested. We do have a t-shirt for Indiana Fever Unfiltered. It is right here. We have it in multiple colors. Indiana Fever Unfiltered right there just for you. It's in black, it's in navy, it's in red, it's in silver or gray, it's in yellow, and it's in white. So if you're interested, please do hit up the merch site. The merch site is, you can go to the merch site through comeonnowpodcast.com. That's comeonnowpodcast.com. Okay. Click on the merch link and there you can get it. Or honestly, another way you can do it, if you want to just type in Come On Now, the podcast, merch, you click on that. And what do you think pops up? The first link, Come On Now, the podcast merch. The first thing pops up is the products, are the t-shirts that are available. So appreciate you supporting the channel by grabbing a t-shirt, man. Let's jump into the video right now. It is right here. I have not seen it because I like to do all the videos raw and direct. Let's take a look what was said. But again, I do them all raw, so my reaction is raw. It is real. And again, we got Shatori Walker-Kimbrough, we got Stephanie White, and we got Raven Johnson. You can take a wild guess as to which player. I don't understand why she's even up on this stage right here. But hey, that's for another story for another day.
Congratulations on the win. My question is for Raven Johnson. Oh, I'm Christina, by the way. Sorry. Leave it at Christina, Unanimous Media. You look really comfortable out there today. How would you assess your first WNBA game?
I was ready. In college, our coach always say, when your number's called, be ready. So I knew when my numbers called, I was ready. And it started in practice, like things in practice. I pay attention. I ask a lot of questions, have good vets on this team that make me comfortable and instill confidence in me. So I knew I was ready when my numbers called.
Thank you. Oh, wait, players first or?
Whatever.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Steph, what's your evaluation of Ravens' debut and also the depth in the backcourt? What's going to be possible with the guards you got?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Raven did a great job. Certainly we know what she can bring on the defensive end of the floor. She's going to continue to bring that night in and night out. And then she's going to just learn on the offensive end, learn what we're looking to get out of certain actions, learn how to create the matchups that we want, learn how to create advantage. It's different than in college. And she's a sponge. She asks a lot of questions, which I love. We'll watch film and continue to grow, but you can't teach the instincts. You can't teach those go gadget arms and the length and her ability to recover. And so it's just going to continue to grow.
And then just your evaluation of Caitlin's first game back in the W. I know she was with USA Basketball, but do you feel like she's still shaking off some rust, or how would you evaluate her?
Yeah, I thought she was good. I think we play differently when she's on the floor. And so again, learning how to play with her in the action. I thought she was good. I thought she didn't force anything. She played with great intention, and everything that she did was in the flow. She was communicating at a high level. I mean, if we're talking about the shot making, like that's going to come. They play her differently in the W than they do in international basketball. And so we've just got to find ways to free her up to get her some easy looks.
God almighty. I knew this one particular quote, and I'm ready to speak on it. Lord have mercy, Stephanie. Let's repeat it, because I'm like a little bit just, wow.
In the action, I thought she was good. I thought she didn't force anything. She played with great intention, and everything that she did was in the flow. She was communicating at a high level. I mean, if we're talking about the shot making, like that's going to come. They play her differently in the W than they do in international basketball, and so we've just got to find ways to free her up to get her some easy looks.
Okay, they play her differently. How? Please tell me how. That's something that you need to you need to tell us how. How do they play her differently? I'd love to know how they specifically play her differently. We all know, you should know by now, because you've been her coach for long enough, that you should know exactly how she's played differently. And it's crazy that you haven't figured out how to play with Caitlin Clark. I mean, this stuff has gotten to the point of silliness that that's your response. We all know this. It's your job to get her open. Now, does she have some responsibility herself to move without the basketball? Absolutely. But to sit here and act like we don't know that she's played differently, of course she's played differently. She's guarded differently. She's approached differently. She's guarded. I mean, you can watch the game. She got guarded 90 feet from the rim by Pryor, the little small guard from the Liberty. The shot making, I think some of her shots could be better shots. I don't think she needs to jack threes all the time. I love the three ball. We all love the three ball, but you don't always have to jack a three ball. So that's another thing for another day right there. But realistically, you got to get her shots. You got to create actions that get her open as well. That's your job. And here's the thing. Your team should not play differently when she's on the court. That's an issue. Why would your team be different when she's playing to when she's not? Other than she's the best player, your style of play should be exactly the same as it is when she's not playing. So if she's in the game and she's running point, the game should be very, very similar to how the game is run if Raven Johnson's running point, or if somebody else is running point. And not in terms of, okay, now Raven's going to jack a bunch of 25, 30 footers. She's not going to do that. It's not her game. But the tempo needs to be tempo. Tempo off makes, tempo off misses, always moving with tempo, always playing with pace, not walking the ball up the floor. You cannot be walking the ball up the floor. Team ain't big enough, number one. Like y'all ain't noticed. This is a small team. No Aliyah Boston, this team gets really small. They're small with Aliyah Boston. Without her, they're tiny. They have no size. So that's just craziness out of Stephanie White's mouth. What do you expect?
Okay. Question for Shatori. Hi, my name is Grady Diaz for the W. You had a team high with Kelsey, 18 points today. How would you describe your overall, performance today? And second question is, what's your key to longevity? You've been in this league for so long, and looking at a player like Raven who looked so comfortable out there today. Yeah. What advice do you have for her as she, starts her career?
Well, I'm gonna answer the second one first, but I mean, just keep doing what she's doing. Like, she's doing all the right things. She approaches the game as like a pro. And kudos to her. Like she said, she asks questions. She's not scared of the moment. And obviously, so it's her first game, but even in practice, you just see it. You just see the hunger. She just wants to be great. She wants to be good, and the sky's the limit. For me personally, I just being aggressive, listening to what coach says, seeing, who I'm on the floor with, and seeing how I can impact the game in different ways. Like I said, just, kind of relying on instinct.
Doug,
yeah, Steph, I know it's a preseason game, but when you got 62 points off the bench, it's got to be a great thing, but also makes you guys more difficult.
Who gives a shit? This guy just asked her about getting 62 points off the bench. Who gives a shit, bro? Did you really just ask that in the you just said it's just a preseason game. Yeah, and most of the points that came off the bench, you ain't gonna see them. They're not gonna be playing. Like they're not playing. Like, stop.
Yeah, I mean, depth is going to be critical for us. You know, Tori's been in this league a while. Ravens a newbie, but you got to have it. You know, we've got to be able to have a quality rotation. We've got to be able to get production from multiple players, and then when you get into the postseason and you get into series, in particular when we think about 7-game series, you got to have multiple players that you can count on, and you know, it's important. It's why we wanted to bring in the players that we did, and not just depth at every position, but versatility in how we can play. We can play big, we can play small. You know, we can have a group that can come in and turn it up on the defensive end.
What? You can play big. You don't have no bigs. You can play big. No, you can play small. No, you can absolutely play small. And even when you play big, you're still playing small because you're still small. On the biggest lineup you could put out there, go put out Aliyah Boston. Go, although she didn't play, go put Aliyah Boston. Go put Monique Billings. Go put Lexi Hull and Sophie and Caitlin. There, you're playing big. That's your big team. Or you can run Michaela Timpson out there, and then you can play Sophie with Caitlin, and that's your big team. Seriously, you can play big. You don't have 3 legit bigs. Like when I mean by 3 legit bigs, I mean you don't have a legit big center with a legit big power forward and a legit bigger small forward. Oh, you do have a Passat, but she's a small forward that you're not going to play because you have her on a ridiculous contract that doesn't have her on the team as of right now. Come on, man. You can play small all day. You have a small team. Like, that's just stupid.
If we need to change momentum, we can space the floor with shooters, so we can play in different ways. And I'm really pleased with our effort tonight. I'm really pleased with how hard we played, how gritty and tough we were, because that's what we're about.
Well, that's my club. Kind of just building off that stuff, where did you feel like were the biggest kind of highs of tonight, and then the areas that you think, you know, to continue to work on as you guys continue camp?
I think our energy was really good. You know, we answered their runs. We know it's going to be a game of runs. We answered their runs. We turned it up on the defensive end. You know, our ability to get 29 points off of turnovers, I thought was huge. We can be disruptive. Now we've got to be more attention to detail, you know, forcing players into screens and our ball screen coverage, making sure we come together in our switches. Our pickup points have to be better. We can't gamble in the backcourt and then create advantages in transition. Offensively, we're going to get in more of a flow. Like, we're going to figure each other out. We're going to find what our reads are. We might be 1 or 2 seconds late on our read. But defensively, our attention to detail has to be elite every day. We can control that. So we'll go back, we'll watch the film, and we'll continue to get better. No, it's everybody knows it.
I was gloomy. No,
We can't tell you.
First of all, congrats on winning against preseason. My question will be for Coach. What was your message to the starters after the first half, and what does a performance like that do for your confidence about competing with and against the contenders in this league?
What was the first part of that question?
Oh, your message to the starters.
Sorry, I'm getting old now. You know, we knew that we were going to rest them, but we wanted to come out and get a good first few minutes. And my message coming out of halftime to them was, we need the ball to move better. You know, we didn't have with that group a lot of ball reversals, not as many as we had when we started subbing. And so, you know, really just how we move the ball, how we play, getting off of it, not over dribbling, you know, those kinds of things. But, you know, I think the depth, you know, for us is critical, and our ability to be able to, like I said, play multiple ways is critical. But I'm so pleased with our energy, with our communication, our ability to play through. You know, I don't want to really use the word mistakes, but when it wasn't perfect, we were able to play through it. And that's a tribute to these guys and their energy, effort, and their focus.
So there you have it. Stephanie White, Raven Johnson, Shatori Walker-Kimbrough. Look, I wish they would have asked Raven Johnson some more questions, because I'm going to tell you right now, she has this look on her face where she's just seemingly always happy. So I guess maybe that is the thing. I'm becoming more of a fan. I got to admit it, man. I'm being converted. I can't help it. Her personality is kind of converting me. She played great yesterday. Like I said in my other video after the game, I think she played great. She did her job. She was effective. She took care of the ball, and she was a defensive, you know, defensive help, honestly, She kind of spurred that initial run in the second quarter, late in the second quarter, that got them the lead at halftime. Again, she played really, really well, I thought, and she's going to get a lot of minutes this year. Stephanie White, typical Stephanie White, cliche, garbage. Nothing changes from her. You get the same jibber jabber nonsense all day long. I don't know that it will ever change. So you just have to deal with it. When you sit here and say you can play big or little, with what bigs? You don't have any bigs. You're small. You are small. And the bench stuff, give me a break. Who cares about 62 points off the bench? This is a preseason game. Most of the minutes came from the bench. So yeah, you're gonna have bench points. You hope in a regular season game that you get 20 to 25 bench points. That's what you're looking for. You get 25 bench points, you're in pretty good shape overall. Because you expect to get 60 to 65 from your starters. But other than that, I mean, look, they did it the first half. They did well. After halftime, I don't know that I really care that much, but the fact that you have to that you think that you need to figure out that you play differently with Caitlin Clark when you should actually be playing the exact same way with Caitlin Clark or without Caitlin Clark in terms of style concerns me. But hey, leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Like the video, hype the video, subscribe. Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. Indiana Fever Unfiltered. Appreciate you as always. Come on now.